Have you ever caught yourself staring at an old travel brochure tucked away in a drawer? Or watching a travel show on TV and thinking, I'd still love to go there someday? Maybe it's the beaches of Greece, the tulip fields of the Netherlands, or just a peaceful cabin by the lake you used to visit decades ago. After 70, many people finally have the time, freedom, and maybe even the savings to travel the way they've always dreamed. No more work deadlines, no kids to raise, no alarm clocks, just open roads and open skies. But here's the truth that few are willing to say out loud. Traveling in your 70s is not the same as it was in your 40s or even your 60s. While it can absolutely be rewarding, it can also be far more challenging, stressful, and even risky, especially if you're not aware of what to watch out for. Your body isn't as quick to bounce back. Flights feel longer, crowds are more overwhelming, and unexpected health issues can suddenly take center stage in the middle of what was supposed to be your relaxing getaway. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 real, often overlooked dangers of traveling after age 70. These aren't meant to scare you, but to prepare you. Because when you understand the risks, you're far better equipped to enjoy the journey. From medical emergencies to financial traps, from travel fatigue to infections you never considered, you'll learn what it really means to travel as a senior and how to do it safely, wisely, and with peace of mind. So before you click book now or dust off that old suitcase, take a few minutes with me. You'll thank yourself later. Let's get into it. 1. Greater risk of medical emergencies. Let's start with the most urgent concern, your health. At home, if something feels off, you can call your doctor, visit your local clinic, or get help within minutes. But once you're traveling, especially in a different state or country, all of that changes. As we age, chronic health conditions like heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes become more common. Even if you feel healthy, the risk of sudden medical issues rises sharply after 70. A simple flight can lead to problems like blood clots. Altitude changes, they can trigger heart and lung complications. Dehydration or fatigue, they hit much harder than they did in your 40s or 50s. Take the case of Elaine, a 72-year-old who took a guided tour of South America. She was in good shape, but during a bus ride through high mountain roads, she began having trouble breathing. It turned out she was experiencing altitude sickness combined with a flare-up of an undiagnosed heart issue. The nearest hospital was hours away. She recovered, but the trip turned into a nightmare, and it cost her thousands out of pocket, since her regular insurance didn't cover care in that country. Which brings us to another danger, not being properly insured. Many seniors wrongly assume their Medicare or health plan covers them anywhere. It often doesn't. Especially abroad, you may be completely uncovered for hospital stays or medical evacuations, unless you buy the right kind of travel insurance in advance. Here's what to do. Always get a full checkup before any major trip. Bring enough medication for the entire trip, plus extra in case of delays. Research the healthcare system of your destination. Most importantly, buy travel insurance that covers emergencies, evacuations, and hospital stays. It's a small price for peace of mind. 2. Higher exposure to illness and infection. Next up, the invisible danger, germs. Airports, planes, hotels, taxis, restaurants, they all look fine on the surface. But for seniors, These places can be hotbeds of infection. Your immune system just isn't what it used to be. Even something as simple as a cold can knock you out for weeks. And worse, exposure to unfamiliar bacteria in different climates or countries can lead to stomach bugs, respiratory infections, or viruses your body's never encountered. Planes are especially risky. You're breathing recycled air for hours. You're sitting shoulder to shoulder with dozens of people from around the world. That one guy coughing 2 rows behind you, his cold might be your pneumonia next week. And it's not just airborne illness. Food safety is a huge concern too. Street food, uncooked veggies, or tap water can all carry bacteria that your body isn't used to. While locals might be immune, you're not. Take Harold and his wife, who went to Southeast Asia last year. On day 2, Harold had food poisoning so severe that he ended up hospitalized. A salad washed in local water had done the damage. They lost 5 days of their vacation and spent nearly $3,000 on treatment. Here's how to protect yourself. Drink bottled or filtered water only. Avoid raw or undercooked food unless you're absolutely sure it's safe. Wash your hands constantly and carry hand sanitizer everywhere. Consider wearing a mask in crowded or enclosed spaces like planes or subways. And if you're heading abroad, check if you need vaccines in advance. Travel can be healthy, but only if you're prepared to guard your immune system like your life depends on it, because sometimes it really does. 3. Travel fatigue and physical strain, 940 to 1300. Let's talk about something that doesn't always make headlines, but affects almost every older traveler. Fatigue. Travel is tiring. Between early flights, layovers, jet lag, walking tours, and dragging suitcases through unfamiliar streets, it's easy to get overwhelmed. And once you're in your 70s, your body doesn't bounce back like it used to. Sleep disruption alone is enough to ruin a trip. Strange beds, noisy hotels, and changing time zones all take their toll. Poor sleep leads to poor balance, slower reflexes, and lower immunity. Then there's the physical demand. Walking several miles in a day, climbing stairs, waiting in lines, standing on buses. These things can turn fun into frustration. Even healthy seniors report needing days to recover after a big trip. Let me share a story. Margaret, 76, flew to Europe to see her granddaughter. The flight was fine, but once there, navigating cobblestone streets, metro stations without elevators, and long walking tours quickly wore her down. By day 3, she was in bed with swollen ankles and back pain. The rest of the trip spent resting instead of sightseeing. To stay strong and enjoy the journey, build in rest days between big activities. Choose destinations with good infrastructure and mobility access. Book non-stop flights when possible. Stretch during long flights and move around every hour. Invest in lightweight luggage and use porters or assistant services. Remember, there's no shame in traveling slower. It's about enjoying the experience, not rushing through it. 4. Financial vulnerability and scams. Now, let's switch gears, because not all dangers are physical. Travel can also be financially risky for seniors. Older adults are one of the biggest targets for scams and overcharging while abroad. Whether it's dishonest taxi drivers, fake travel agencies, or too good to be true tour packages, seniors are often seen as easy prey. Scammers know many older travelers are polite, trusting, and unfamiliar with the local currency or customs. And it's not just shady individuals. Legitimate businesses often jack up prices or offer hidden fees to confuse tourists. Then there's the risk of overspending. Retirement budgets are often fixed, and one unexpected expense like lost luggage, emergency hotel stays, or last-minute changes can eat up hundreds or even thousands. Here's what you can do to protect your finances. Only book through reputable, well-reviewed companies. Use credit cards with fraud protection when possible. Never carry large amounts of cash, and always keep a backup card stored separately. Research average costs in your destination so you're not caught off guard. And consider giving a trusted family member access to emergency funds back home, just in case you get stuck. Travel should feel enriching, not financially draining. 5. Mental stress and disorientation. Finally, let's talk about the mental side of travel. Travel used to be fun and freeing, but now it can feel overwhelming. New languages, fast-changing environments, unfamiliar technology, and tight schedules can cause stress and confusion, especially for those experiencing memory or cognitive issues. Many seniors report feeling anxious while navigating airports, transportation systems, or even hotel check-ins. What used to be exciting becomes mentally exhausting. Take Linda, 78, who accidentally got on the wrong train in Italy while traveling alone. She ended up in the wrong town without cell service and unable to speak the language. A situation like that could rattle anyone, but for an older adult, it can become dangerous fast. To avoid these situations, travel with a companion if possible. Keep a written list of hotel addresses, emergency contacts, and important phrases in the local language. Use senior travel services that provide guided assistance. And most importantly, don't pack your schedule too tightly. Leave room for flexibility. Mental well-being is just as important as physical safety on a trip. 6. Medication management challenges. Next on our list, managing your medications. At home, your pill organizer is on the nightstand, your prescriptions are filled like clockwork, and your doctor is just a phone call away. On the road, things get messy fast. Time zone changes can throw off your schedule. Long flights might mean you miss a dose. Luggage gets lost. With your medicine inside, and trying to explain your prescriptions in another language at a pharmacy, that's a headache no one wants. Worse still, some medications aren't even available in certain countries, or they go by completely different names. That blood pressure pill you rely on daily, you may not be able to replace it easily if it runs out or spills. Let's look at Paul, 75. He packed just enough medication for a 2-week cruise, but due to a storm, the ship was delayed at sea for 3 extra days. By the last day, Paul had run out of his heart medication, and the onboard doctor didn't carry it. He was dizzy, confused, and had to be airlifted off the ship, all because he didn't pack enough. To avoid this, bring extra medication, at least a week more than planned. Keep a printed list of all your meds, doses, and doctor contacts. Always carry medicine in your carry-on, not checked baggage. Use pill organizers and alarms to stay on schedule, even in new time zones. Travel doesn't pause your medical needs. Plan ahead so you don't have to scramble later. 7. Mobility and accessibility issues. Travel opens doors, but sometimes not literally. If you use a cane, walker, wheelchair, or just need more time to move around, accessibility becomes a serious challenge. Not all countries have ramps, elevators, or smooth pathways. Even within the U.S., Some hotels or attractions fall short on ADA compliance. And we're not just talking about major disabilities. Mild arthritis, joint pain, or slower movement can turn everyday travel into a struggle. Consider Jim and Carol, both in their 70s. They booked a scenic inn in Italy. Pictures looked perfect online, but they didn't realize it sat on a steep hill with no elevator and 30 stone steps to the front door. By day 2, they were exhausted just going in and out. To avoid surprises, research accommodations for mobility access before booking. Call hotels directly to confirm elevators, ramps, and accessible bathrooms. Consider using airport assistance. It's free and saves energy. Use walking poles or braces if needed, and never feel embarrassed asking for help. Travel is for everyone, but only if your destination truly supports your needs. 8. Technology gaps and communication barriers. Here's one that sneaks up on many older travelers. Technology. These days, boarding passes are digital. Directions come from apps. Translation tools are on your phone. And if you can't connect or don't know how, it can feel isolating. Many senior travelers struggle with everything from airline check-in kiosks to using rideshare apps like Uber. Even something simple like finding Wi-Fi or dealing with an international SIM card can be stressful. And communication, that's a hurdle too. Language barriers can complicate everything. Asking for directions, understanding signs, or dealing with emergencies. Let's take Marjorie, 79, who traveled to Japan. Her phone wouldn't connect, her translation app didn't work offline, and she had no idea how to use the train system. She missed 2 connections and almost gave up on the whole trip. What to do instead? Learn basic tech tools before leaving. Practice using maps, translation apps, and mobile boarding passes. Bring a printed copy of all your reservations. Buy a local SIM card or portable Wi-Fi device if traveling abroad. Learn key phrases in the local language or carry a card that explains your needs. Technology can enhance your trip, but only if it's working with you, not against you. 9. Risk of isolation or getting lost. Let's talk safety in numbers or the lack thereof. Solo travel can be wonderful, but as a senior, it carries extra risks. You're more vulnerable if you get lost, confused, or separated from your group. You may not hear announcements clearly or miss key signs in a busy station. Even couples traveling together face challenges if one partner gets sick or injured. Suddenly, one person is left navigating a crisis alone. For example, there's the story of George, 80, who wandered off from a guided group in a foreign market. He didn't have the guide's number or address of the hotel. It took 4 hours and help from the local police to find his group again. To stay safe, always carry identification and your hotel's contact information. Use wearable medical alert tags or tracking devices if needed. Stick with a group or travel buddy, especially in crowded places. Let someone back home know your daily plans and check in regularly. Staying connected keeps you safer and eases your loved ones' worries too. 10 emergency preparedness gaps. Finally, let's talk about something few people think about, but everyone should. Emergencies. Whether it's a natural disaster, political unrest, or a medical crisis, when things go wrong far from home, you need a plan. Most people assume they'll figure it out if something happens. But at 70 plus, quick decisions become harder. You may be dealing with slower reaction times, limited mobility, or stress that clouds your judgment. Take the 2019 protests in Hong Kong. Many tourists were caught off guard when flights were canceled, streets were blocked, and access to hotels was limited. Seniors had trouble navigating the chaos, and many didn't have emergency contacts, cash, or alternative plans ready. Here's what you can do to prepare. Keep an emergency contact card in your wallet. Know the location of your country's embassy or consulate. Carry backup cash and copies of your passport. Set alerts on your phone for news about the area you're visiting. Create an emergency plan with your travel companions before you go. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being prepared. Traveling after 70 is a beautiful opportunity, but it comes with unique challenges. Being aware of the risks doesn't mean avoiding travel. It means being wise, prepared, and resilient. So plan ahead. Listen to your body. Invest in the right tools, insurance, and support systems, because the world is still yours to explore. And with the right precautions, it can be safer, smoother, and more rewarding than ever before. If this helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a loved one who's ready for their next great adventure. Safe travels, and we'll see you in the next video.